We are so excited to see your smiling faces. So if you feel comfortable putting your camera on, we love to see you. Even if you're making a face where you're like, what are they talking about? It helps us because then we know we might need to re-explain something, or we might have a question that we need to answer. But today we're really here to talk about how to access our creativity through Cricut and Cricut Joy. Not only the machine, but also the fabulous and talented person, Joy McDonnell. And she's gonna walk us through a great project today that we're calling Door Decor. And it's a perfect, cute little fall, there we go, there it is, so precious. That you can decorate your door with. It's a plaque using the Cricut Joy machine as well as our Cricut vinyl. And Joy's gonna walk us through the steps and little tips and tricks on how we can do that. And of course, we're highlighting fall because that's the time of year and we like to talk about pumpkins and pumpkin spice. And I heard that today is National Coffee Day. Did you guys hear that?
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, and apparently there's like 146 billion cups of coffee that are drank. Don't quote me on that. I feel like that's the number that I heard per day that everybody drinks coffee. So if you're a coffee drinker, cheers.
Definitely cheers. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. And like Jenny said, my name is Joy, and we are going to be working with the Cricut Joy today. And so I just feel like we're just going to have a whole lot of joy for a few minutes. This idea of decorating a door actually comes from my sister, and she does this every season, and I'll show you some pictures of what she does. And it's just a good way to welcome folks in and greet everybody who might be coming into your house. Now, I know with the coronavirus and everything that's happening right now, we don't have as many people coming in, but those family members are super important, so we want to welcome them in a cheery way. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I have a little presentation first that will give you some ideas. And I think I have to do, these are all like the challenges for how to get all of our fancy things to work. Okay, can everybody see my screen? All right. All right, so this is all about that front door. And like we just said, well, everyone appreciates a pretty wreath on the front door. Sometimes you want to go a little step further and decorate the door with something that is fresh and unique. And today we're going to review how we can use some creative fonts and fun icons to give a welcoming greet to anyone who comes by your door. So this is for inside doors, outside doors. You can apply it right onto your door. You can make a sign and put it on your door, whatever works for you. What my sister has been doing is she paints her door each season and puts a new little sign there because she's got a great shape for her door. So this is what she just put up for the fall. She did this one last season. So this was a Hello Pumpkin, and she actually will paint her door each time she does this. So I give her big props. But I thought this one was cute. She had a little wreath with gnomes in it, and she said, chillin' with my gnomies, and has little gnomes on the side. So that was kind of cute. This is probably my favorite door that she ever did. She wrote Squeeze the Day, and she did the little wreath with all the lemons and wrote hello on the inside. So I thought that was cute. So there's lots of different ways that you can think about it. And our basic supply list and most important thing that we're going to use is repositionable vinyl made by Cricut, and it's the Smart Vinyl. And we want to use repositionable because then it can come off and you can redecorate again. If you are doing a wood sign that you want to use forever and ever and ever, then you might want to use the permanent. But the repositionable vinyl, I think, is the key for seasonal decorations. We're also going to be using the Cricut Joy machine. We're going to use some transfer tape, the Cricut Joy scraper, weeding tool. I didn't put scissors on here. I should have put scissors on here. We are going to be touching on design space a little bit. And then you would need a door or a wood sign, a little bit. If you want to paint, I'll show you which paint, and a foam brush. And the painter's tape is actually to show you how to do the hinge technique with applying your vinyl. So this is the little Cricut Joy, and she brings a ton of fast creativity in minutes. You will see how quickly she'll cut that vinyl. And I'm not going to spend too much time talking about all this stuff because I want to be able to have time to show you everything. Oops, I skipped. I do want to take a minute here. The Cricut Joy uses smart vinyl. You can also use a mat. You can apply any material you want on a mat and it will cut and go right through the machine. But smart vinyl is awesome. It's smart because you don't need to put a mat behind it. You'll see we're just going to put it right in. The mat, the smart vinyl backing is a little bit thicker. So when we go to apply it, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on how to apply it and make it go down nice and easy. If you do want to paint your door, Michaels sells this exterior outdoor paint by Art Minds. And this is what my sister uses. She says it goes on nice and fast and it's easy to use. And she just puts it on with a foam brush. So today I am using this sign right here. It's in Michaels and it's in this seasonal little dry vial. And you can see it's got some other holiday pieces with it. So you could really go all out and make something for Halloween and then something for the holidays as well. But my main thing is measure twice and cut once. I learned this from my father. It is the truth. Measure your piece that you're using or measure your door, measure wherever you're going to put your little message so that you know you're making it the right size. And in Design Space, I like to make a little rectangle or a shape that represents the space that I need so that I can visualize how big everything is as I'm designing, because when you finish designing, sometimes when you cut it, you're like, ooh, that's smaller than I thought, or ooh, that's bigger than I thought, but that helps you to make sure that you're in the right space. Okay, so let's take a minute and go over to Design Space, and hopefully I can end this show. And I want to share a different screen. So give me 1 second to work my technology here.
Joy, while you're doing that, I just wanted to answer a couple of questions that have popped up on the side. First, what's great is Michaels is going to host this video on michaels.com, so you'll be able to access this class at any time you want to go back and take a look. If there's anything on the supply list or something that you can't find in your local Michaels store, or maybe there's a Michaels that's not as close to you, you can go to michaels.com. And they have a lot of everything pretty much available on there. So you can buy online, pick up in store, or you can order it and have it shipped directly to you. And they even have curbside. So you guys, it's super, super easy to get the stuff that Joy is talking about today. And you can also use any of your Cricut machines to make this. However, we're highlighting the Cricut Joy today, as well as the smart materials that go with it. But I did see some questions. If you have an Air 2 or a Maker, absolutely, you can use those machines to make this project.
Yeah, and my sister even said that she just took the smart vinyl and put it on a mat and put it through her Air 2. So don't feel like you can't use something. It's open to everybody, whatever machine you have. Okay, so we have Design Space up here. And this is the little sign that I designed. Can everybody see the Design Space? Yeah, okay. And I made my little cursor bigger. My mother keeps saying, make it bigger so I can see where you're going and what you're doing. So basically, this is already the design. So let's say we wanted to start something new. I would come over here to, oh, we want to save this design real quick before we go anywhere. And let's just say I wanted to go to a new project. I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks for ways that I find art within Design Space, because you would be amazed at how many things are already like just available to you. And Design Space is going to think for a minute for us. So come on. In the meantime, while Design Space is thinking, I can still show you. Oh, there we go. All right. So that project was saved and we have a blank canvas. And for anybody who's new in using Design Space, I'm going to show you some of the easiest ways to find art. Within Design Space, you have all these tools over here on your left side. And this in the center is your canvas that you will be using. And as you add images, into Design Space, things will pop up here and more tools will pop up along with more tools along the right side over here. But don't be intimidated, because nothing is impossible, and it's digital. So if something doesn't work, you can just erase it and start over again. All right, so the first thing is I always go to images to start a search. And then from there, I like to search within sets of art that are already ready for me. So I am going to see if I can type something in while it's still thinking here a little bit, and show you how I find like some fall images, because a lot of times I want to start with one word, or actually let's switch and do pumpkin. There are some words that I want to use, and I want it to be like a flourishy, or I want it to look really like kind of cute all over. And if I come right into Design Space, it'll come up with ideas for me. And I don't know why it's taking it takes a little bit longer because we're on Zoom and everything else is happening. So a
lot of uploading and downloading, Joy. That's all happening while we're talking. So that's
yeah, all at once.
One of the questions is would we be able to access your project? Could you save it for us all in a public file on Design Space so we can use it?
Yep, I have it all saved there. You know what? I'm gonna elect to kind of go back to the project so that we can keep going with the class. But I will say, if yours isn't taking as long as mine to load, you'll find images here. If you go to the category All Images, type in pumpkin, you can scroll down and you'll see all kinds of pumpkin words and things that you can find. And did it work? Is it going to show us? Let's try here. No, okay. So you'll find all kinds of things. I'm going to go back to my project here. I'll go back to favorites. Okay, so we'll just have to wait for this to come up for us.
I think our app is having a Monday.
I think it is, yes, it is definitely a Monday.
Oh, I bet it's because you're on Zoom, Joy. I bet a lot of
it's just got a lot going. So I'm just going to come back. Well, let me get to my projects. Or do I need to restart it? Well, this is unexpected.
Nothing like technical difficulties.
So
that's life, right? We do have one question on here. Destination Dance. Oh, I love whoever that is.
I'm going to stop sharing for 1 second.
Title. If you have an expression machine, so yeah, you can. It's not that you can't. You might be limited to the design content that you're using with your, I'll call it a legacy expression machine, because it does not access Design Space the same way. So, right, Joy? So they could probably just use the content that's available for expression and manipulate some form of this.
Sure. That would totally work. Okay, you guys, I don't know why, but my Design Space is not working at all.
Locked out?
Yeah, like I went out of it and reopened it.
So Billie Jean just said they use Zoom at work and sometimes they get stuck too.
Does this happen to other? I haven't had, like, I've had all kinds of things happen in Zoom, but I haven't been able to not get into my Design Space. So I'm not quite prepared for this part to happen. But we're going to keep plugging away, and we are going to get our Design Space up here and get it working. So just be patient. What I can do is, well, I'm sorry, you guys. It's like a bunch of different windows. So now I've got to find the right window. So why don't you tell us what your favorite thing to make during the holidays is? What do you guys make for the holidays?
So Sharon is saying, hey, Joy, you might have to reboot your computer.
I know. I just, you know what I'm doing? I'm going over to like a force quit to see if I can force quit it. Could you imagine if that would happen where I'd have to reboot the whole computer? I'm all prepared and ready to go.
Right. So Kay said that she likes to make holiday cards with a custom design. She has an Air 2, which is awesome for making holiday cards. The Cricut Joy, actually, some of the secret behind the scenes of Cricut Joy was we knew that card making was such a great creative project that so many of us were doing. And so when the Cricut Joy was actually created, we made the card that was specific, the mat that was specific to card making. So Cricut Joy is great, but you can also use your Air 2 or your Maker to make Christmas cards. And I think that's great. Personalizing, you know, something that's very giftable and unique to someone is super, super special. Not only because it's beautiful and personalized, but because you made it. So it's from the heart. I love that. I have a new Cricut user on here who says that she picked up the Maker. I love it. So the most powerful machine that Cricut has launched. Such an awesome machine.
Yes, the Maker is awesome because you can get all the different tools. You can do the scoring and cutting and everything. So the Maker is one of my all-time favorites. But any machine.
She has a picture.
Oh, does she have something on her picture?
Yeah, little ghosties.
Okay, guys.
Coasters. So yeah, coasters, that's awesome. If you're not using, or if you haven't tried infusible ink by Cricut, that is a phenomenal way to do permanent designs on coasters. So fun to do and seems intimidating at first until you learn how easy it is, and then you'll be able to make a million coasters.
I have an idea. Because we're using Cricut Joy, I'm going to switch over to my phone and try to make it work from my phone.
Okay. While you're doing that, we have a couple more comments on here. So Julie says she's desperately been trying to find a Cricut Maker, but they've been sold out in her area for a long time. Oh, guys, we hate hearing this. However, we are in the midst of a worldwide pandemic. And unfortunately, probably like a lot of other things you're finding at retail that are not available, we are working to the very best of our ability to bring in as many machines as possible. Michaels is going to be your best avenue to try and grab it, either on michaels.com or in store. And Cricut, the team here, we're all working behind the scenes to make sure that those are readily available for you. However, you know, it's hard in the midst of all the complexities that are going on in the world. So just hang in there with us, and we'll work to make sure that everyone's in stock for you.
Yes.
I'm excited for the new foil transfer tool. So are we. So for those of you who don't know, Michael's just launched our new Cricut foil tool. It can be used in your Cricut machine, either your Air 2 or your Maker. And it basically is a tool that hooks up to your machine, and it is intended to work with the machine to enable you to apply foil to projects. So if you haven't seen that yet, you can check out michaels.com. They have a great video on the tool, and they also are carrying it online.
Okay, you guys, this is how we're gonna make a little pivot here, and this is why this is a good thing, because I can show you that if I can't get something on my computer, I can get it on my phone. And Cricut has done a really good job of giving you all these different ways to get your projects. So here I am on my phone, and I have my project all ready to go. So I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna customize it for 1 second. You can see that my words go this way, but within the app, I had to switch so that the words go verticals, because in the Cricut Joy, it's only got a width of a 4.5-inch wide opening. So that's how wide each of my pieces is. So to make it fit and to work on the Cricut Joy, I just had to turn them. So it's a little bit of a brain tease that you do have to do, but not so hard to do. So once we hit make it, and I'm hoping you guys can see this okay, it's going to ask me, am I cutting without a mat, on a mat, or in multiple ways? And I'm using the Smart Vinyl, so I'm cutting without a mat. And my first piece to cut is the pumpkin. So I'm gonna just move a few things around really quickly here. I'm not even going to pre-cut the vinyl to a particular size, I'm just going to put the vinyl right into the machine, and the machine's going to do a little measuring for us. So let's get our orange out. And now there is a spot where you can tell the machine to give a little bit more pressure on cutting. I did that at first, but then I found it was hard to take off the smart vinyl, so I would recommend don't do the extra pressure. But you can see that the smart vinyl is right here in the back. I'm not going to use a mat or anything. I'm just going to feed this right into the machine. So I'm not using my mirror or anything. I'm just going to go ahead and hit continue. And then it's going to connect with my Cricut Joy that I have right here. And then I have to choose that I'm using Smart Removable Vinyl. This is where that default, if you want more pressure, is. I would recommend don't add any more pressure. My Cricut Joy is blinking, so she's ready for the material to be put in. And once she gets that material, she's going to take it all the way through and make sure that it gets aligned straight before she starts cutting anything. And it also double checks to make sure that you have enough material. So we'll hit go on that, and you'll be amazed at how quickly the Cricut Joy will cut this little pumpkin. And I always think, because she's got this little blade, how could she possibly do what the maker and everything else does? But she's a workhorse and she gets it done. So it's pretty impressive.
I love
and I know that
Joy is a she, Joy.
What's that?
I love that you called your Cricut Joy a she.
I do. And you know, I think because my name is Joy, I have a hard time saying Joy, calling her Joy. I just call her she. So then you just unload your material, and we'll put that over to the side, and that is already cut. And our next one is going to be the brown, and that's going to be the pumpkin saying. So we'll just get that.
So Joy, Linda sent a note saying, I'm sorry, but this is way too advanced. So Linda, you are not, that's not the case, I promise you. You are amazing, you are a rock star, and I promise that Cricut has actually developed this great design space in this machine, so you don't have to have a PhD in crafting.
Right.
Is to make life easy for you so you can create, because we know how many ideas you have in your head, and sometimes it's just hard to figure out how to apply them. This little machine, this powerful little machine that Joy is using along with our software is very intuitive. It's very simple. And I would encourage each one of you just to get in there and play. You're not going to hurt anything. You're not going to damage anything. You can always hit back or delete or redo. It's very forgiving and it's super fun. And I promise you, it's not hard at all once you start playing inside.
I know. I think our difficulty was just getting the design space to hook up, but once we have that hooked up, it's pretty quick. And I would, like Jenny said, just give it a try, and you'll be amazed at how once you know what you're doing. In the beginning, it can seem a little tricky, but once you know what you're doing, it's pretty intuitive. So this is cutting our longest word, and that is the pumpkin word. And look, it even tells me, hey, their pumpkin door is cutting in process. I could take a phone call, I could get text, I could get anything on my phone while I'm doing that. Okay, so it is done cutting that piece. So we'll just take that right off. And then it's gonna get ready for the next one that we're gonna cut, and that is the mint green, where we're doing the hey there. And I always have to remember to click that Smart Removable Vinyl, and then put that into the machine. And it's so patient, it just waits for me to get it in there just right.
So Joy, we have a great question. Am I able to use regular vinyl, or do I have to use the Smart Vinyl?
No, you can use regular vinyl. And Cricut Joy comes with, I have right here behind me, Cricut Joy does come with mats. So you can you can just use any vinyl that you have and put it on the little mat that goes into this machine. They come in a short size, they come in this long size. We have special ones for cards. So no, you can use anything that you have in Cricut Joy. The main difference is that Cricut Joy cuts, but it does not score, but it does take a pen. So you do have lots of options for what you can do. You're not limited.
So Kay said, is there a class just using Design Space? So Kay, what's so great is we actually did a class with, not Cricut Joy, but Joy McDonnell. How to use Design Space, and that also lives on michaels.com, so you can find it there. There's also a Cricut 101 class that's on michaels.com that you can go back and take a look at, but it kind of gives you just a high-level overview of Design Space, the tools, how to use it, and how to get yourself set up. So those are both two great videos that would be awesome to help you.
Yes, so we're not leaving you out in the cold there. If you are a beginner, there's a Cricut 101 class, which is super helpful. And then all of the Design Space classes are super helpful. And we show you how to use all the different tools for Design Space, so that is a good thing to check out. Now what I'm doing is I'm just going back and using my Cricut trimmer to cut my vinyl. I could have cut my vinyl ahead of time, but I wanted you guys to see that how it goes, how the machine takes it in and measures it for you, and then gives you the right amount, or just cuts that amount. So you can just trim off once everything is cut. Okay. So now I have my pieces and everything is ready to go. I also have my little Michaels desk back here, which I think is awesome for keeping me organized. All right, now I do like to use a self-healing mat under my work, and I'm going to show you how I use this in a couple different ways. It's a ruler. It's a great big giant ruler, and that is one of the best things about it. So you can see how nice and easily this weeds using the Smart Vinyl. I am just not even trying to be nice and gentle about this. So those little pieces will come right off. Then these guys come off, and I just stick them right on my hand. I think I've got the word upside down for you guys.
So Joy, my 12-year-old daughter, her favorite thing is to weed the designs from the vinyl. She says she finds it so satisfying, and she said she should start a YouTube channel where it's just people weeding vinyl because everyone thinks it's so satisfying.
It is. And you know what? I feel like the Smart Vinyl just makes it not only satisfying, but so easy to do. So you don't even have the challenge. Okay, and this is the hay there. So you can just see how that comes right up. All right, we're gonna take that little centerpiece out there. Okay, so now we have all the components, and now what we need to do is put it together to fit on the board. And I have a blank board. Now, this is the one that I got from Michaels, and you can paint this or you can leave it the way that it is. It's completely up to you, but this is the board that I'm working on. It's 22.5 inches wide by 11 inches tall. So I want to remember that as I'm working. I'll find a spot to stick that up. So
do you remember what font that you used for pumpkin?
So what I wanted to show you in Design Space is if you type in fall and you go to the image sets and just scroll down, you will see pumpkin written in so many different ways with all kinds of fun little flourishes on the ends that look like pumpkin tendrils. So this is actually an image that I found in Design Space. And for the font here, this one is called Four Seasons. And I use that one. I use Four Seasons a lot. I use Poker Night a lot. They're nice, big, blocky fonts that are fun to use. And the pumpkin was in the same search that I did with the word pumpkin. This particular pumpkin came up, and I felt like he was kind of cool and trendy looking. So I picked him. Okay, so now we've got to get everything together so that we can put it on our sign. And I do a few things that I'm not sure everybody does this the same way, but you know, we all have our little twists and turns. I know that I want that K to fit up in here between my hay and there. So I'm just gonna cut those two pieces apart. And this is where I use painter's tape. I like to use a little bit of painter's tape, and sorry about the cat here. And I will tape that down to my board here. Oh, don't get any of that on the vinyl. And I can probably even just trim that. And now I know those words are completely straight, right? And that they're gonna be where I want them to be. And then I can slide my pumpkin up in there. And I can just kind of look at how that's all gonna fit. And that's kind of what I like. That's how I want it to go. So the next thing I'm gonna do is just go ahead and get out my transfer tape and get this transferred onto the tape. Because you're basically taking a piece of tape, pulling everything up, and then applying it down. So Cricut Joy has really long pieces of transfer tape. This is the 20-foot pack, and I love this. I use this. It goes so far. And you can reuse transfer tape over and over again. So just depends how good you are at saving your pieces. I'm just going to get this started here on this corner. And then I'm going to put
a couple questions about using smart vinyl on Cricut Air 2 and Maker.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to do that?
Yes. If you put it on the mat, you are able to do that. You just need to put it on a mat instead of it just going right through. Like on the Cricut Joy, when I say just going right through on the Cricut Joy, I can just put it right onto the edge and just put it in without the mat. But if you're going to use it on the Air 2 or the Maker, you need to use the mat. I should have given myself like a little corner already started on this transfer tape. There we go. This is the hardest part of the whole project. Transfer tape off the backing. Okay, there we go. All right, now what I do is just, now I know part of my pumpkin, oops, is going to be a little longer than the width of my transfer tape. So let me get that back to where I wanted it to be. And then I'm also looking at that line up here so that I know everything is nice and straight. Pull that down just a smidge. I don't want that hay there to touch too much on that pumpkin. So maybe I'll bring it down here to the, there we go. Okay, so now I've got my transfer tape going. I'm just gonna put it right here on the edge. And I do kind of want to get my lines straight. Oh, there we go. And then apply that.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. There's a really good question that keeps popping up over here. And it says, when you're using Cricut Joy, do you need to use the snap mat feature?
The snap mat feature is something that you can use, but you don't have to use that. That's in your designing process. So it all depends on how you're designing and what you're designing. So no, that's not a have to. Snap mat is good if you are taking a picture of something and you want to have it positioned just into the right spot. But no, you can use Design Space just regular. You don't have to do anything special for it. Okay, so I just got the transfer tape onto the words, and now I'm going to do the same thing with my pumpkin. Just give him a little trim and kind of position my pumpkin up along the edge of the word that I have. And I might want to get that straight. There we go. And I'm just going to pick up where I left off and applying this part. So just pulling the backing and getting the transfer tape onto the pumpkin. And that gives me my whole little design right there. Now I know I can see a few things aren't exactly perfectly straight, and part of that is because I'm not taking the time that I should, because I want you guys to see all the different steps. So if you see something that's a little bit crooked, forgive me, but that gives me my whole design in one easy step here. And there is a little tiny lump. I'm just going to work that out. Now, here's where you want to take your scraper and use your scraper to make sure that you have got all of this nicely down onto your transfer tape. And we're going to use the hinge method to apply this, because could you imagine if I just lifted all of this up, it wouldn't all go up evenly. So I'm going to use the hinge method to put everything onto my sign. Now, you might also notice that on my sign, my hey there is off a little bit. So I'm going to get another smidgy bit of transfer tape and just put a little bit across the top there, just to make sure that everything's down and I'm not going to have any problems. This one I can start a lot easier. Okay. We'll put the hey there on the transfer tape. And again, you would cut yours a lot better than I did, because I know I was a little wasteful right there. Okay, now let's get this centered. How's that look, everybody? Pretty good?
That's great.
Pretty good.
Boy, it's so cute.
Isn't that cute? And I love using the mint with the brown. I just think that's such a beautiful color. All right, I'm a huge fan of frog tape. So I just put the painter's tape over the center so that I can peel this part back and get this part all up with my transfer tape. And then I'll be able to put this down and then work the other half so that everything lays down nice and smooth. So this is where that vinyl backing, the smart backing, can be a little bit harder to maneuver to get everything off in the positions we want. So you just have to be a little bit patient as you wiggle this off. And I want to get my eye. Leave that behind. So don't get discouraged or frustrated as you're working with this backer paper. Just know it's a little bit thicker. And I use my fingernail sometimes just to encourage a corner to hop on off and get where I want it to go. You can see.
Confirm, are you using the removable vinyl?
I am. And because I'm imagining this would still go on my door and I would want to take it off for the end of the season. So yeah, so I'm using the removable vinyl.
And then Joy is also, most likely, I'm going to make an assumption here, you're using the standard transfer tape on the vinyl?
Yes, the Cricut Joy comes in the two different types, but I'm using the standard. It's a little bit easier to work with, I think. If you're using a glitter, like a glitter vinyl or a very thick vinyl, that's when you'd want the stronger tape.
We have some experts over here in the chat group, Joy. I just love how they're helping to answer everyone's questions.
Yay!
We have a great
guys.
Cricut folks right here.
Yeah, Cricut users are the best, like really the best folks ever, and so creative. If you're not part of the Facebook groups and all the different ways to share your ideas, you should be, because you get so many good ideas from all the wonderful Cricut users that are out there. Okay, so that took off one part. Now we've just got to work off the next section. I'm gonna keep my board down and just work carefully. Probably need to scrape a little bit more.
Oh, thank you to Christine. If you guys were looking for the link for the design space where we did the design space class. She actually put it in the chat. It's now available on YouTube to watch. So if you were looking for that and couldn't find it, you can find it there at that YouTube link.
Yay, thank you, Christine. All right, this is coming off so nicely, you guys. Has anybody else used the hinge method before, or is this the first time you're seeing the hinge method? I think this is the smartest way. It just takes all the guesswork out of everything.
So everybody's saying first time, Joy. They love it. They love the idea.
First time. Yeah. Good. We're teaching something new. I like that. All right. So here we have the hay. We got to get to there. I love this saying. I don't know why. I just think whenever I call somebody, I have a tendency to say, "Hey, girl, hey," and I just think that sounds so cheery and happy, and I just love the idea of, "Hey there, pumpkin, come on in."
And especially in the South, it doesn't even have to be fall, Joy. Everybody here in South Carolina calls everyone pumpkin.
I know, and you know, that's where I grew up, so I definitely have some of that Charleston in me.
So Laura has a great question. She said, would you use this same application if you were doing it directly on the door?
Yeah, I would do it the same way. Now, what you need to do is just be patient. So if you're doing this on your door, I would still use the same hinge method and everything. I just would, you know, do it on a day that's kind of nice and sunshiny and warm. Don't try to do it when it's cold out. And do it when you have enough time. Scissors. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm cutting away that backer paper. And now what that will allow me to do is take this part of the sign. And this frog tape, I would suggest using the frog tape. It's really my favorite painter's tape. But now I can just take my whole sign, just a little bit of tension, and lay it down right where I want it. And I'm gonna let that sit there and hold everything in place while I do the same thing for the other side.
Okay, so this hinge method, this is a game changer, Joy. I've never done this on my projects.
No?
I love it. I love it.
Definitely a game changer. Definitely a game changer. And I'm gonna work from the how did I do this last time? I think I worked from the inside a little bit out. I like to lay it down on the board and try to get that 45-degree angle. The Smart Vinyl just is a tiny bit thicker than usual, so it doesn't quite pull that same way. Here we go. We're getting there, folks. Hang in there with me and you'll see something cute. And you'll learn a new little way.
Everybody's commenting they're ready to decorate their doors, and some are waiting on their new Cricut machine and they're excited.
Oh, yay! New Cricut machines. This is the perfect time of year to get one too, because there's just so much fun. I don't know, there's just so many fun seasonal things to make, like just fun things to make all the time. But definitely fun seasonal things to make. Okay, so I'm thinking if I start at the tippy top of this pumpkin, somehow it's gonna come off a little easier for me. There he goes. And that's something I do as I play around and see like, okay, who's gonna cooperate from where first? So I'm hoping all of these little sections will just cooperate. Come right off. There we go. You just need a little bit of encouragement. The scraper helps. You can go back and get the scraper and really just scrape those on there.
So Billie Jean commented, Joy, she has a lot of trouble getting the vinyl to stay and stick on the wood. Is there any trick to making sure it's gonna stick?
What kind of wood? Is she using like a stained wood, a natural wood? Like what is she? What is she using?
She doesn't
Like,
say,
this is
but I see her typing.
This is a painted wood, and it stayed really nicely on this painted wood. So I do know on natural wood, though, because it's got like little splinters and different things, sometimes that can be a little bit more challenging. But really, it's about prepping your wood before you go about applying your vinyl. This got just a little lumpy right there. It's about prepping the wood, and that's why I really liked these signs at Michael's, because you can paint them. They have a little red tag on it that says, "You can paint me." But I like the way it looked kind of rustic, and it was already painted. So, and with the glossier paint on the surface, I feel like it's a little bit easier to get everything to stick, because I know you guys are waiting for me to peel this up next. You're like, yeah, now let's watch her peel this up.
So Lois
Well,
actually uses iron-on in a piece of parchment, and then she applies that with a tea towel.
Yes, people. Yeah, iron-on is really cool on wood. It turns out really nicely. So that's definitely an alternative. Again, depending on whether you want that to be permanent or you want it to be something that you can take off from season to season. So I just did my little scraper on here, and everything's stuck beautifully. And this is the repositionable. So if I wanted to use this sign again for Christmas, I could just take everything off and start again. So I also like the way, and I'm gonna try and hold it up and see if you can see it. So let's see if I have any little weird spots. But that looks pretty good to me. Can you guys?
Great.
Can you guys see that this vinyl has like a little bit of shimmer on it? Like a little bit of a pearlescent shimmer?
Yeah, you can see it reflecting in the light a little bit there.
Can you?
It's gorgeous.
It is really beautiful. So there you go. You'd have your sign. I have all my trash around here. You'd have your sign for your door that you could put on your door, or you could just put this directly right on the door using that hinge method. I think that is what makes life 10 times easier. So as many places as you guys saw me having like a little bit of struggle, you also saw that if you keep your patience and you keep going, you'll be fine. And we did this live in less than an hour with a little presentation ahead of time. So sometimes the longest time I spend is designing my piece. And in Design Space, like I said, and I wish I could get my Design Space to come back up again. But like I said, it has, once you do the search for all the different icons, you can find all kinds of things. And right now there are some super cute fall images that are free to use. So, and if anybody's watching, you're the worst. I almost did a sign that had an owl on it that said, "New door, who dis?" That was so funny. But all right.
Everybody is making comments. They love this. They're so excited to apply it to their own door or something of the like. And we're excited to see what you guys do. So if you do end up decorating or doing some door decor, we would love to see it. You can follow us on Facebook, on the official Cricut Facebook page. And we love to see all of your comments and posts and ideas and creativity. If you have any questions, the Michaels team is phenomenal with hosting so much information on michaels.com. They have a great team of folks that are very familiar with Cricut. As a matter of fact, I feel like the Cricut team and the Michaels team are just one and the same these days, right? Like we're all creating together. And If you have any questions, you can go to michaels.com and you can see some of the videos and the great projects that Joy has been doing over time. You can also surf. There's some YouTube classes out there as well that you guys can take a look. And if you're looking for anything at your local Michaels store that you can't find, be sure to check michaels.com to see if they have it available. And there's so many different ways that Michaels is affording you to get product when and where you need it, which is just awesome.
Yeah. So I did see that somebody had the question about does it separate the mats for the different colors? And yes, Design Space does that. Each thing that you have in the different colors, when you go to cut in Design Space, it will separate them all out, which is super helpful. And if you look for me in Design Space, you can go to the community. So under where you would go to look for new projects, you'll see Cricut Community and type in my name, Joy McDonnell, and you'll see all of my projects. They're all shared, and you can go there and access this little sign that I did if you want to do the same one. And I use the mint in the removable vinyl, the orange, and the brown. All right.
Thank you so much, Joy, for doing this. This is so awesome. And I know we're going to be seeing more of you with more classes. So everyone can check out michaels.com for a list of those classes and when they will be live. And we love it when you join us live so we can interact and talk with you and get good feedback and figure out how we can do things better, because our goal is really just to support you and your creativity and make sure that you're able to do all the things that your heart wants you to do.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, thank you all so much. Thank you for your patience with me. And I hope I definitely want to see signs. So make them public. So you can, I don't know if we can tag each other in Design Space or not, but definitely, keep crafting. And if you post anything on Instagram, you can post it Cricut with Michaels. And we definitely follow that and watch what everybody's making.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.